We are here for the first time on F1 22 for the pre-season race of Season 4. Should be a great British Grand Prix after what was an amazing one in real life. Is there potential here for another stunner in the online world rather than the real world? We can all hope. No, I think we're restarting the lobby. Alright, that's fine. Looks like we're restarting the lobby, that's fine. Right, you know what? We got 4 people in the stream now. I've just got the second invite, so I will be joining that. But I guess let's start talking now, shall we? It's almost race time here in Silverstone after, like I said earlier, an absolute stunner in real life. What a race it was! Obviously, with Joe's crash early on, though. It was scary. It was very, very scary. But those last 10 laps, they were what brought the race back. Perez versus Leclerc versus Hamilton. Unbelievable stuff. Perez penalty debatable, but I personally think no, because well, he did get the position, but I didn't see much of an issue with what he did. It was a bit of both drivers. mistakes. So yeah, realistically there wasn't really much that Checo could do to avoid Leclerc. Sainz with his maiden win though, unbelievable, like genuinely so impressive. He's a driver that's been deserving of a win for so long, and to see him finally get it is very impressive. He's been in a great run of form as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he can make himself an outside contender for this championship. Obviously though, with Verstappen running away with things at the top. Perez though did pull it back today. Gap still 40 points though, so I'd be surprised if we see any action up there for a good amount of time. But it is realistically, it's only 2 races with Verstappen DNFing and Perez winning to bring this championship back around. So, yeah, just see how things go, I guess. And tonight, pre-season on F1 22. Should be a great race. This will be the first 50% that I've seen other than Arab, but that doesn't even count really. It's obviously 50% still, but yeah. He's showing some videos down to me. We got some newcomers, new faces in today, with the likes of Green Lizard. We got Ryan now as well joining, Marco, Sen, Steven, and the boss game's already there. And then we've also got the familiar championship contender faces. We've got Tim, the 2-time champion of ITR. Dion, a contender last season, leading the championship for so long. It looked like it was going to be domination last season for Dion. Pulled back around from a man that isn't even here tonight in the form of Cristiano. Stein and Rico, 2 drivers who I remember being teammates back in season 2. And now here they are once again as teammates in the Williams. Some other faces, Ghost, again, former teammates of Stein. Stein's done a lot of jumping ship, as has that man Elias. Aston Martin last year, this year jumps to, this season should I say, jumps to the Ferrari and his teammates tonight with Marco. Dion and Tim, the deadly duo, as per usual. They'll be hoping to get maximum points today. But the newcomers, we'll have to see what they can do today, with some experience as their teammates. There's now some other new drivers join. We got 2 rookies in the same car, PZM Thomas and Green Lizard, both joining in our Alfa Romeo. And I'm sure now we will be nearly ready to get the only pre-season round of season 4 underway before our first race of the season, and lights out in the wonderful country of Bahrain. For what should and always will be an astonishing race. Obviously some new entries as well to this season's calendar, as well as some big track changes. We got Abu Dhabi, round 18 will be off season 4, with the major track changes at specifically turn 4 now becoming just the hairpin instead of the chicane going into the hairpin, and also a swooping left-hander instead of the triple chicane, which no one liked, let's be honest. You got Australia at round 2 with heavy track changes coming just before the turn 11-12 chicane, Now, before that section, a flat out zone with no DRS. For understandable reasons, I guess. Without that, well, I don't think that the racing would be as good. It's become a much more flowing circuit, Australia, with a lot of corners rounded off to make them a lot more flowing, which has worked. Round 4 as well in Spain. Not major track changes, but the minor ones do count. You've got just before a tricky, once was tricky left-right chicane, now a very flowing corner, making it a lot easier for cars to navigate. As well as, I think that's actually it. Well, obviously another new entry. Well, the only new entry to the calendar, in the form of Miami. In America, I've done a few laps in it myself, and I've got to say I really like the track. Other than that tight, like, twisty section midway through, that does, it just gets in the way a bit, really, of what should be a flowing circuit. And it's a flowing circuit other than that corner. The rest of the lap feels very nice, though, I've got to say. I'm a fan of Miami. But we're not focusing on Miami tonight, we're focusing on Great Britain, as it's now been renamed to an F1 22. And now, I have sneezed, and we go racing. Pre-season time, people. Almost a full lobby, 19 out of the 20 possible drivers here tonight for a short qualifying session around Britain before a brilliant 50%er, which should bring a whole lot of action, and maybe even some surprises, which we all love to see, especially in leagues like this. You just never know who comes out on top. It could be the old timers, it could be the two-time world champion, it could be last season's championship contender, or it could even be some of the veterans. Or will it be a driver who's having their first race in ITR tonight? It's just a matter of wait and see here in Britain. Let's get to the track. Let's see how things are going to go. Who will be the first man out on circuit? The first man to test the new game in ITR? Been 20 seconds and we've got no sight of cars until now. We have our first man leaving the pit lane, and it is indeed Elias, the first man out on circuit in his new Haas, and already signs of sliding in that Haas car. Here we hope he can recover that over the lap. It is very, very slidey though, this new car on the new game, as proven there. Another snapper oversteer from Elias. But obviously, like every season, first man out gets the pleasure of being the man on camera for their first lap of the session. And in this case, it is indeed Elias, who, like I said, has made a lot of team changes. Last season in the Aston Martin, did very strong. He was a very, very good driver for Aston Martin. Didn't get near the championship, however. Hoping to start anew here with Haas and maybe, just maybe, be a championship contender. He is a brilliant driver though, Elias. We've seen race victories from him. We've seen stunning drives from him. As now he warms up his tyres down the hanger straight. And will now, Drew Stowe, prepare. Well, he is hoping to be a brilliant lap here. Let's hope we don't see some Perez versus Leclerc action through the Vale chicane again. The first lap of F1 22 is a go here in ITR. Here comes Elias now, down through turn 1 of Abbey where Joe had that horror crash this morning. Now down into turn 3, through Village he goes, heading down towards the loop now. Through turn 4, heading towards turn 5, maybe took a bit more curve than you'd want through there. Doesn't seem at all like a bad lap though so far. Down the Wellington straight here, heading straight now towards Brooklands. Diving through the left-hander. On the brakes once again. Takes the wider line through Lovefield. Got to perfect that exit, and he has done so there. Elias now, through Woodcut. Heading down towards the infamous corner of Copse, where Leclerc pulled off the overtake on Hamilton today. And Hamilton and Verstappen last year obviously had that 51G collision. Well, Verstappen's 51G impact. Anyway, back to Elias's lap. Now back down the hanger straight. It's been a very solid run so far, especially for a first run with these new cars in ITR. Down through Stowe, cuts the corner. It's an invalidation for Elias, but we do have a second lap here. It's from Rico, and not too far behind him we also have his teammate of Stein. Oh, we got a spin. That's the first spin of the year. It's come from Rico. And now we will spectate Stein, who has just simply dived it into the pit lane. Will it be Green Lizard though? This is his first lap on the game. Well, I guess we missed Peter. Peter takes the fastest lap so far. Watch out though, here comes Green Lizard. Where will he go? P2. Stephen though. Stephen Osh, on his first appearance here in ITR, has gone fastest for the meantime with a 127.3. A very solid lap there. Rico with the 152 after that spin on his lap. FRT Marco there takes P3. Not bad at all from the rookie there. As the boss game there moves up into P4. Davies currently sat in P5 with a 128.586 there. And man, you'd expect to see up there. Very fast driver. He'll be hoping he can show that this season as Dion, last season's early contender, moves up now into P4, and we will go on board with him here because I believe he is doing another lap here. Now through turn 3 of Village. It seems very smooth so far from Dion. He's going to want to improve. And by the looks of things, he will improve. Not bad at all the start of this lap, as PZM Thomas has gone P7 with his lap. Not far at all there behind one of the veterans in the form of Davies. Well, it's not really a veteran, but he has been here for 3 seasons. Wide run there from Dion though through Lovefield. I think that will be the end of his lap. Or will he still go for this? He's still going to go for it. P4 currently, as he now backs down and will set himself up for another run. FRT Marco though seems to be pushing with all his might here into the pit lane only. Didn't seem like a bad lap at all there from him though. Now PZM Thomas is the one on the charge and the one with the invalidation. Ryan now around the final corner. Ryan takes P2 in the Alpha Tauri. Very solid lap there from the black and white of the AlphaTauri, driven by Ryan, as now Tim moves just ahead of his teammate and up into P5 in this session so far. Very solid all-round lap there from Tim. I'm sure he will accept a P5 if he can get it. Any other laps going on? Ghost moves up into P11. That's all that we've seen so far there. Is Green Lizard pushing here, or will he dive into the pits? He seems up. He is up on this lap. On his last lap. So, well, he's going to hope, isn't he? All he can do really here is hope for an improvement, which I think might come his way here. No, he dives it into the pit lane. As FRL Senna there goes up into the top 10 with a 128.7 there. And there we see the two Haas cars leaving the pits once again. Massimo and Elias both leaving the pits sequentially. Massimo, though, is out of the session after a spin in the pit lane. He's been disqualified. Elias has been disqualified. What's gone on in the pits? It's a mess in the pit lane. As both Haas cars there are disqualified, and we got a huge train of cars going all the way from FRT Marco, it is, all the way down there to Rico. FRT Marco there has had his own separate spin as Peter M. Thomas there leaves the session. Rico will warm his tyres now for another run. Who was that? It was Ghost up into P4 with a very solid lap there of a 127.8 there. FRL Sen here. Is he on a lap? I don't believe so. This is very slow as he is. Especially for his position. Mike though now. He seems like he's on a run. We'll see what that first sector's like. It doesn't seem bad at all. It's a 27.7. In that McLaren through Luffield now. Diving through turn 7. Down towards Woolcut turn 8. And then turn 9 of Cops. Going on board now with this beautiful new McLaren. I gotta say, it's a very nice car, and I shouldn't have said that because I don't know whether it's coming to its cuts or not. But that there is Mike invalidating on that run. I don't even know what to call this guy. NMRS we'll call him. NMRS DVL. Yeah, I prefer DVL. Right, DVL. Now completes that first sector. It is slower than what Mike's was, and Rico's been disqualified. Where was he? Rico in the P14, and that will be it for his session. These disqualifications do seem a bit unfair, so I don't believe Rico would do anything like to get himself disqualified, but here we are. I guess you never know. DVL though, on a very, very solid lap here by the seams of things. Gone very well through Cops and done the same through Magus and Beckett's. Now heading through Church. Where will DVL be able to go with this lap? We'll have to wait and see. It's not bad at all though. Green middle sector. This is his first run, so I guess that makes sense. It's a very nice stow. Gets a neat exit as well over the curb. Through the left-hander now for the start of the Vale chicane. Able to push there through flat out, and P9 only for DVL. Very solid first run though, gotta say. Meanwhile now we have Ecos. He's been held on what was a brilliant run of Stephen there. Stephen Osh has put himself fastest with a 126.9 on his debut race. That's a stunking lap. As now Ecos rounds the final corner for P2 in this session. He got blocked as well, so is there more in Ecos here? I believe there is. Will it be Ecos for I don't know what time this is, but so many times on pole position. Will this just be another? Oh, he's had a bit of a slide there. off the exit of the loop, and he had another one and he spun it. Avoids the barrier though as Jack's there, proving he's still got the pace. Into P4 with that last lap. Dion up into P5 as well there with a 1:27.7. Very close, I gotta say. From P2 even, all the way down to P7, all split by 0.3 of a second. That's what we like to see. And Tim here on a lap as well, the two-time champion. Let's see what he can do on this run. He'll be hoping for a strong one. He'll be hoping for, well, I'd assume as a 3-time world champion you'd be hoping for a top 3 here in quali. And it's purple. Tim looking very good here. Is there a potential pole position on for him here? 5 minutes to go in this session. 6 minutes, sorry, to go in this session. Now through Stowe, heading down towards the Vale chicane, where that horror crash happened in F2 earlier this morning. Now through the exit of the Vale chicane, where will Tim be able to go with this lap? I don't think it's going to be pole. It's going to be P4. Splits it and makes it even tighter. Very solid lap there with Tim. As now that is FRT Marco as well, making it even tighter in that midfield. Very close there to Dion. As that there is DVL having a bit of a spin there. Green Lizard here, he's having a poor lap, I gotta say. As Ryan actually should really have played that out. Ryan's gone P2, so it's a front row lockout of rookies here. Very impressive stuff from those guys out the front. Meanwhile, FRL Sen here also seems to have a very nice bit of pace. Now Drew Maggots and Deckers in that McLaren, pushing with all his might here, trying to get the maximum he can out of this car, and he's doing pretty well so far this lap, I've got to say. This so far looks like it'll move him up into P12. Maybe you'd want more, but we'll have to see how the end of the lap goes to judge whether he'll get more or not. No movement up at the front other than Peter, who's actually gone up to P5 there. Now here comes FRL Sen around the final corner. It's a snap oversteer. It is P12 still though. I wonder what that would have been without the snap oversteer. I guess we'll never know. Now the boss game. Gonna want to improve on this. P10 currently. And pretty rapidly we can. See what he can do on this run. Heading down towards the end of the first sector. So far not looking awful. He is gaining time, but he has to gain 5/10 to be in with a shout with the guys in front of him. There's a clear split in this lobby so far, I've got to say. From P9 to P10 is where the split is. His teammate there, Green Lizard, gets out of the way nicely for him. The boss game here, not looking bad at all on this run. Will he be able to push himself into the top 9, which is really where the cut-off point is? Is there potential there for the boss game to make this lap count? I'm not too sure. It's going to be close. We'll spectate Ghost though, as he now comes to the end of his lap. No, it's a full lap this. Boss game though. Got to push now into the end of this lap. Got to push with all his might if he wants that top 9. Here he comes now through the final corner. P10 still. Gains time though. Puts himself a little bit closer. Davies there with the invalidation. Stein gets out of the way there with the Ferrari of Peter. Can Stein prove a shock again? He always seems to do this, you know. He always goes out at the very death of the session after setting like a really poor lap and puts himself like very high up there. Meanwhile here, Ghost being held up by one of the Red Bulls, and that Red Bull is unnamed because they're both out on track. It's Dion who he's being held up by. Dion not on a lap. He does get out of the way eventually, but that's going to ruin Ghost's lap. Now Jax, the only man in the top 6 to start his lap so far. Well, other than Peter now. Can Jax push himself ahead of Peter and maybe even onto the front row with a bit of luck here? As Ecos retires from the session, he always does that as well. He retires late on. Or has he actually made a mistake there? Because he's in the wall. I'm not too sure. Jax though now through the middle sector as Ecos has left the session, so I think that actually was a mistake. He always seems to though, Ecos. He does it like, I don't know. But he always seems to like crash out at the end of sessions just for a bit of a laugh. And this time it actually was legit, so that's interesting. But can Jax here at the end of the lap, can he make it count? Oh, and he's been held there, surely. That's very poor positioning there from the Aston Martin of I. Davies, who's apparently in the pits, but he's still out on track. Now we have a lot of drivers to spectate here, as Jax has spun himself around. Ghost has retired from the session. He is happy with P9, and I think that is where he will stay, as we got another spinner there in the form of the Williams. And that Williams is indeed Stein. On a push lap, I assume, as well, because he needs to get himself up there. Meanwhile, FRT Marco on this lap, 2/10 up in that first sector, pushing to the maximum here. I am sure he can push and show us what a rookie can do. I mean, the front row lockout was already showing us what rookies can do. Lovely camera angle there on the inside curb of Cops. As the session is now finished, it's the last run these drivers can do. Peter retires. Jax also retires. They're both happy with P5 and 6. But will there be more to this session? Marco here is still gaining time. Will he be able to push himself potentially here into the top 4? We'll have to wait and see. Can he push himself above Ecos if this end of the lap goes perfectly for him? Tim and Steven aren't going again. Can Ryan get pole? He's at the end of his lap as well. FRT Marco here around the final corner up into P3. Done very well on that lap, especially at the end there. Pushed himself up into P3 in his pole position on the final lap of the session for Ryan. The final lap from those top drivers is the lap for pole. Meanwhile, FRL Sen here as well is gaining time actually. So maybe a bit of a change as well in the lower points paying positions. But the top 3 full of rookies that there is brilliant to see. Unless Sen pulls something out of the bag here, which he is not going to be able to do. It is a 127 though. He is into the 127s and moves himself up into P10 in that qualifying session. So we have a rookie on pole. It's Ryan. Snuck it right at the end off Steven. The AlphaTauri will line up in prime position for what should be a brilliant race in the brilliant city of Northampton. And what used to be an airfield in Silverstone. We'll have to see now how this race pans out. But by the looks of things, the rookies are taking over. The gap at the top, only 3.8 hundredths of a second, 38 thousandths. That is. Very close for P3 there as well. 11 thousandths between those two. This race could go any way. There's just no telling with ITR. There could be a huge crash. There could be a pile up off turn 1. There could be fireworks, like at any corner. But there also could be the runaway races which we saw last season, with Cristiano dominating the season. But obviously he is not here at the pre-season race. So will he be racing next season? I'm actually not too sure, but I assume he will be after the World Championship of Season 3, which I couldn't make half of, sadly. Should be able to improve attendance now, hopefully. We'll just have to wait and see. Formation lap. Yay! Oh, we got a McLaren. FRL Sen has just gone flying into the ball off the exit of the loop. What's happened there? I have got no idea. Well, that there was a huge one into the barrier there for FRL Sen. Obviously, no damage on the formation. That means he can get back up to racing speed quite easily with no problems on the car other than his own talent. Should be a great one today. We saw a close midfield in quali as well. I should definitely point that out. The top 10 all up until the top 2 all in the 127s. The top 2 both made 126.9s work, but 127s up to P3 from P10. And even the boss game got close. As there is a brilliant camera shot, I've got to say. See all the cars weaving down the hangar straight, preparing themselves for this race. And this is also going to be the first race, actually, where we have manual, putting yourself on the grid. So this should be interesting. Will we see any drivers losing out from the manual grid run-up? We'll have to wait and see. As now, drivers re-overtake and prepare to put themselves in their own grid slots for what should be a brilliant British Grand Prix. What will people do here on the grid as they will line themselves up, like I said, for the first time? Ghost trying to make sure a final bit of tyre warm-up on those mediums is done. There's a lot of medium runners out here today. See how many? Wow. Only 2 soft runners. Everyone else on the mediums. Everyone seems to have done optimal, or at least good, grid run-ups. As now, it's time for the first race of F1 22. Season 4 begins here, and we got jump starts everywhere. It's lights out and away we go. But we've had a whole lot of jump starts. We've had 4 of them. From the top 5, Stephen there, dropping down the order quickly. Rico apparently in the lead, but we know that isn't the case. Ryan still leads the way from Marco now in P2, and Ryan, what's happened? What's happened there? He's off and into the wall. Feels as Rico's leading. This game really needs to fix itself, I've got to say. But it is Marco who leads the British Grand Prix here. There we go, it's fixed itself now. Tim in P2, both of the top 2 with drive-through penalties though. So realistically, it's Peter from DVL. What a start it's been from him. From P12 on the grid all the way up to P4 off that race start. The chaos and confusion has let him sneak through, and he has taken advantage. Up into P4 for him. Meanwhile, behind him we've got Ghost and Dion, 2 veterans of the league, battling it out there for P5 in this race. Behind them, we have a whole lot of cars. We've got some overtaking going on back there. The boss game gets past I Davies. And meanwhile, behind them, Ecos in his AI car is overtaken by Sen. Sen now as well, putting pressure on. And Jax off at Stowe. And we do have a full course caution, but it doesn't even say what it is. It's a safety car. Chaos on lap 1. What more would you expect from what is a first race for a lot of newcomers. They're used to other leagues. This is like, yeah, we race differently here. So after lap 1, we have Tim down in P16 now. We have FRT Marco down in P15. And we have Peter leading from DVL as Marco, don't know what he's doing there, pulled off some overtakes casually. That's nice. Now Tim dives it into the pits, and he's got himself a 5-second penalty, so well done Tim. He's not here. Is Massimo? No, he's not an AI. Massimo did rejoin, and he's doing a final job, you know, in P7 currently, behind his teammate. Hello there, Ecos. Welcome to stream. Should be a fun replay. Replay restart. And the safety car is in this lap, so Ghost now in P2 after DVL. Don't know what's happened with the front few drivers, should I say. We've got an AI Rico in P4. He is now rejoined. Hopefully he will be able to hop into the car now. And it's a restart. Peter leads them away. What a restart it's been from him. Up in P1 for the meantime. Meanwhile, Dion past Ghost. Ghost though, gonna try around the outside. Is Alpine versus Red Bull there. Back down the inside for Ghost. Dion hangs one around the outside through the loop. to the exit now, the loop onto the Wellington straight. Dion is the one to take P2 for now. Very close though in that top three. Meanwhile in the midfield, it's getting interesting as well. We've got the Green Lizard running wide. Is there potentially for Rico to slip through? Green Lizard takes the exit speed and pulls away once again. FRL Sen here as well, looking for something maybe on the boss game, if he can pull it off, but he doesn't seem to be close enough to do just yet. Meanwhile there, Mike just getting overtaken by everyone because he is an AI. And he is overtaken once again there. Green Lizard though, got a really nice launch there. Might be able to get past Sen here in a straight line. Sen has the better straight line speed and has pulled away just in time. Meanwhile though, the boss game here, pulling in on Elias, that's something that I didn't expect to say today. I didn't think that anyone would be able to pull in on someone like Elias. But here we are, and the game is once again just dying. Great, love it. The boss game getting close now to Elias, very, very much so closer. Now into Village. Getting very tight here. The boss game can't quite get the move done just yet. As he now slips back a little bit. And now it's Massimo actually gaining a lot here on Ghost. Massimo slipstream down into Cops here. Will we see a Hamilton Verstappen-esque incident? He's not quite close enough as FRL Sen there is out of the session and he's left as well, so that's nice. Massimo here gaining a lot of time here on Ghost. Ghost just trying to pull away, and Elias is the first 3-second penalty, I believe, so far on this game. Oh no, we've got quite a few actually. I just thought they were all drive-thrus, but clearly not. Massimo versus Ghost though is the battle to watch right now. They're getting ever more close. Peter with a 2.8 second lead right now. This is going to be a Carlos Sainz-esque moment as their Massimo in the other Haas gets a penalty. Well, that penalty might well have been worth it. Alongside Ghost now. He pulls alongside and pulls ahead of Ghost for the meantime. But that Alpine is not going to give up just yet. Holds back for now, but we'll have DRS after the loop and Chapel. Here comes Ghost now. Down the Wellington straight. Does he have enough in a straight line to catch back up with Massimo? He does, but not enough to overtake Massimo again. Ecos here is back in the race. So is Ecos now, another man who could definitely fight for this win, and probably will try and fight for this win. Well, it's a battle at our halfback here, because we've got Steven as well as Ecos, as now Ecos slips past Green Lizard. Steven can't follow suit, but this here is 2 of the top 4 in qualifying. Meanwhile, Green Lizard back to the outside, runs wider. Big chance here for Steven to sneak through, and I think he's going to take the opportunity here. They nearly go alongside each other through Magus and Beckett's. Not quite the case though for Steven's overtake there, as now to the exit of Magus and Beckett's through Chapel. Slipstream, DRS for Steven. Surely this is going to be an overtake here on Green Lizard to the outside, down towards Stowe. Can he pull off the overtake? It'd be amazing if he does. Very neat defending there from Green Lizard. He's done very, very well there. As now onto the brakes through the Vale chicane. Meanwhile, the boss game still not far away, but Peters made a mistake. Peters' lead slips away, and Massimo now moves up into P2 in this race. He got past Ghost, and now he's all the way up into P2. What a race this has been so far for him, as Steven there has also made a mistake, and he's left the session accidentally or something, I don't know. Meanwhile here, the boss game and Elias both getting on Peter. So Peter's spin not helping him out clearly. Still being gained on here by Elias and the Boss Game. Elias though runs miles off circuit. The Boss Game follows suit. Green Lizard there gets penalised. Meanwhile here, Ghost gets a very neat exit there off of Maggots and Beckett's. With DRS open here, Elias has run off circuit there as well. But it seems to have worked out for him. He has also got a 3-second penalty for that though. So clearly it didn't work out for him. But now the battle for P2 begins to heat up. Dion is now the race leader after all of the exchanges. We got Massimo under pressure from Ghost, who was under pressure from the former race leader in Peter, with Elias not too far behind them. Ecos also here trying to fight his way through the field, and it's clearly working for him. Fastest lap of the race for Ecos. He's absolutely flying right now as Elias there cuts another corner. Whole lot of corner cutting here from Elias as through the loop there. A little look from Ecos on the Boss Game, but it won't be yet. The Ecos off his overtake. Meanwhile though, Peter gets a great run off of Church, down the inside, into Brooklands, and it will be the position of P3 now for Peter. What a launch he got off of the loop and then Church there. Brilliant run for him. And it is the overtake in the end. The Boss Game now trying to sneak back into the DRS of Elias. But behind him, Stein into the wall, losing his front wing, and we got another safety car in this race. And now there is Elias also off in the wall. He's been able to keep the car going, but he drops to P7 and then spins once again. Elias is out of the race. And now the safety car is released onto the circuit. And all of a sudden, this race could well heat up once again as we have a whole lot of the top drivers pitting. But Ecos, he isn't. Ecos stays out here under this safety car and will take the lead for the meantime of the British Grand Prix. The safety car does indeed catch the leader. There's not been any changes in the top 4 there, or the top 5 at that. Mike not pitting now. Now Rico gets past Mike under the safety car there, but he does indeed have to get that position back. And we'll have a restart in the next lap, I believe. It'd be nice if I had, like, you know, future intel for commentating, you know. We will have to see how things turn out here today. next lap it should indeed be restart time. We've got some overtakes going on in the midfield. Bit strange to see under safety car, but that's how it is, I guess. And safety car will be in this lap. And Ecos already playing the mind games and getting himself as far ahead psychologically as possible before this restart here. The safety car is still out for now, but it should be in this lap. Yep, there's Ecos just blowing up the pack. It should indeed now be situation safety car in this. Well, no, it isn't. Is it weird? Is it not? No, it isn't. Safety car stays out another lap. It'll be this lap, surely then. Steiner gets a 3-second penalty, 5-second penalty for him yellow flags. Just realised I'm cinematic mode for the safety car. Heh, forgot I even existed. The safety car rolls on. Back now to it. The safety car here is ending. We obviously now have the onboards of the safety car, which is lovely. I've got to say, it's really nice to see the onboard of the safety car. And now we go back to the normal viewing ways, and the safety car will indeed be in this lap. So who comes out on top here is still wide open for debate. Will it be Massimo on a debut? Will it be Dion and Ecos, both veterans in this league, both willing to push to the limit here in Britain? With Ecos are going extremely late, he's still not even gone yet. And now he bolts and plays it very smart, and no one does an instant. Off the restart, Dion played it Ecos played it so smart. He sent the two back, all the way to the back of the pack. Because now we have a lot of AI just battling each other in the midfield. Not really much they can do about that. Meanwhile, there's Stephen versus Peter, is that? It is indeed Stephen versus Peter. Lovely switch right there. Stephen gets past them both. Meanwhile here, the boss game. Can he get past Stein here? That'd be very impressive if we saw that move happen. Not quite yet though. As their IB was looking for Tim, who was pitted 3 times during this race. Now there is a whole lot of pit stops. Meanwhile, Dion already carving his way back through the field. Obviously the fact that there's a lot of AI in this race will help that. But already back up to P8 here for Dion. After dropping all the way back to P14. is highly impressive, gotta say. He's back in challenge now for this race win. As now Peter versus Steven could be a battle to watch sooner or later. A second now splitting Ecos from Stein. Meanwhile in the midfield, Massimo passes Davies, and he's now also back in this race as Tim's made a mistake. Tim around in the final sector. Drops all the way back once again to P14. Now he has some AI pit stops. Peter still not far away here from Stephen Osho. Stephen though also gaining on the boss game. Meanwhile there, Rico making up some positions on the AI drivers. Up now into P8 for Rico in this race. Bit of a challenge though from the AI there. Marco didn't get too far away after that straight. Meanwhile now, it's Steven gaining on the boss game rather than Peter gaining on Steven. I gotta say, Steven is flying here compared to the boss game. Now darting through the middle sector. And now, Steven's all of a sudden all over the boss gate. That turned very, very quickly in Steven's favour as there. Ghost Falcon makes it past his teammate. Tim now starting to carve his way through the AI. Also, the Green Lizard not too far behind Tim, also doing the exact same job there. Meanwhile though, the lead closes. Stein with the fastest lap of the race there on the soft tyre. Is he going to the end on that soft? That'd be crazy if he is. Meanwhile though, it's Steven versus the boss game here. It will be on the exit of church. It's going to be a close battle. DRS open for Steven, but the boss game actually there pulls away in a straight line almost. So maybe Steven is going to be stuck here for a decent amount of time. So I'm sure he wouldn't want it. I think Steven's definitely a contender for this race win, but he's got to have the pace now. Speaking of pace now, Stein, look at him compared to Ecos here, as Ecos there actually picked up a 3-second penalty as well for himself. 14 laps on those mediums, 6 laps for Stein on these softs, everyone else on hards to the end. Stein looks like he's going for another stop after this one to try and carve his way through the field. He's gaining though on Ecos. Williams versus Ferrari for the lead of this race. Meanwhile, Steven has got past the boss game. The Mercedes is past the Alfa Romeo. The podium falls away from the boss game for the meantime. Now the battle for the lead. Once again he's heating up here. Stein gaining on Ecos. Into Village now. Heading towards the loop. Who will be able to come out on top and take this race lead? It's going to be very tight here between Ecos and Stein. Stein with the DRS wide open. Stein's got the straight line speed, and Stein is going to dive around the outside of Ecos and finds your overtake. Very, very simple one. Up into the lead of the race is the Dutchman, the Williams. Peter though seems to be getting down the boss gate, needs that. Another man with a podium still definitely in contention for him. Bit of a mistake there from the boss game through Maggots and Beckett's. DRS will be activated for Peter here. We'll be able to gain enough time on the boss game. Comes in, but not enough for an overtake. Still snap there, oversteer. for the boss game on the exit still. Now heading into the Verticane, still not quite close enough for Peter to make the overtake. But he is really not far away now. Constant mistake taking the boss game. He's getting very, very close here with Peter to making that overtake. Up into P4. Meanwhile, Rico is overtaken there by Tim and Ghost. You've got a midfield battle. Steve there gets a penalty in P3, that is. And he is now actually really close to Ethos and Stein in their battle for the lead of the race. Could we see a three-way fight for the win here? That'd be a great way to end what has been so far a decent pre-season race. Peter there gaining on the boss game once again. Meanwhile, Ghost versus Tim through Luffield. They're very, very close to each other, I've got to say. That's the power of those new cars. You can get so tight to the back of the primer. Ecos has made his pit stop. His mandatory pit stop was made on lap 1. So is he going to try and go to the end on these mediums? Is that genuinely what he's going for here? Because these two battling is just helping Stephen more and more. Meanwhile, the boss game is overtaken by Peter. He's starting to slip now down the order. Meanwhile, a man starting to come up the order is Stephen. He's now right on the tail of Ecos, heading it down the Hamilton Straight. Nothing he can do into Abbey. Now heading through turn 2 down towards Village. To the inside goes Stephen. He's not going to risk it just yet. But now Ecos is slipping back from Stein. That's not what Stephen wants. He needs to pull that back pretty quickly. He wants to still contend for this win. 3 safety cars. Who is it for this time? I don't actually know. They just brought the safety car out for no good reason. Certainly hope not. Oh, and there's damage in the pits. Is it Ecos? He's hit the back of Stein as they're all into the lane here. Every single driver is into the pits here, surely. The entire top 10 into the pits, the entire top 11 now into the pits. It's soft tyres for everyone. As Stephen has actually come out on top in the pit lane battle. Stephen will lead Stein and Ecos. Stein has slipped back massively. What happened there in the pits? What is happening in the pits there? See, the drivers are just slipping back massively for some reason. So the safety car has really switched up the order here. We've had the AI not dive into the pit lane here. And we have Stein and Steven as your top two. But Steven now is the lead driver. As now we see Tim down the order in P11. Definitely not where he'd want to be right now. Rico just in front of him. With Peter in P9 as well. I'm sure he's not going to be the most happy driver with that one. The boss game up in P4, Ecos. Then he lost the position to Steven in the pit stop, but so did Stein, so he's not lost an awful amount there. And there we see no change in the order. Obviously this is a safety car. These camera angles are a bit stupid, I can admit. Why are there replays in the safety car period? Nothing's going to happen. Everyone's just kind of queuing up. Safety car in this lap. 5 more laps to go here of what should be some stunning racing. And we've had 3 different leaders under 3 different safety cars. As Rico's dived it in. The pit lane there for Rico. The restart though. As Steven has got it spot on there. Stein, it's P2 currently. The boss game sat in P3. Dion P4 as of right now. The boss game here, gaining on Stein. It's not much, but it's slow work. Will he be able to win this race actually? It's not too far out of the question. With only a few laps to go, Steven here has got to pull out an advantage of 3 seconds, which he's going to be able to do actually. So the boss game is, he can still win this race, but he's got to put his foot down. And I don't think that's going to happen anymore. That's a 1:29.1. The boss game gaining on Stein. There's DRS on this lap, and it will be next lap, but the boss game has got some overwhelming straight line speed here. Might well be able to pull off a move soon on Stein. I think the boss game can definitely get Stein sooner or later. Are you joking? No, they're just doing it for fun now. They're just doing it for fun. That's a safety car for no reason. Oh, don't tell me we're having that stupid safety car glitch. Is that what's going on? so. So we'll have one lap of racing at the end. So I think the boss game is definitely for this win now. Now we are back to this dumb camera angle. Probably gonna do a replay of someone like flying or something. I don't know. And there is the brilliant replay. And safety car in this lap, so we're actually not going to have one lap racing. We're going to have two. Oh my goodness, it's a treat from the game. Thank goodness for that. We get a bit of racing action here at the end of this race. Stein, Stephen and the boss game are going to be the three battling for it. Dion was the one that slipped back, but maybe he can now put himself back into it as well. As they're off the restart is Stein. So the boss game is up now into P2 in this race. Down the inside, Dion applying pressure now to Stein. This was not a move I expected to see, but Dion putting pressure. Heavy pressure on Stein, and now Massimo's come out of absolutely nowhere. Three-way battle down the straight. Massimo to the outside here of Stein. Dion sits behind these two for the meantime. Massimo though, down the inside of Stein, and they've hit each other. Through Lovefield there's contact. Tim now charging after Dion and Stein. They're side by side there, Tim and Dion. And now Dion to the inside of Stein. Tim switches back, goes for the three-wide maneuver. Unbelievable stuff here. Dion still having a look there at Stein. And still just about unable to get that move done. But they are so close here. Dion back down the straight, using his slipstream, pulls out alongside Stein and makes the move stick. But Stein looks around the outside. Tim with the switch back there might be able to get Stein himself. To the outside of Stein, here goes Tim. And gets the move done as well as Ghost. What a move that is by Ghost following through there. And we've got a race on our hands as well on the final lap. As there is Stein off in the gravel. It looked so good for him for such a long amount of time. No DRS on this final lap. So things are going to get interesting here at the front. Because the boss game needs a win. It'd be huge for him. Steven also can win this race. But it's just completely out in the open for who does. Meanwhile, we're side by side again here. This time, Ghost versus Peter. Ghost gets the move done for now. The re-overtake on Peter, that would be. Now here comes Peter, though, back at him again. To the inside of Cops. Down the inside he goes. Ghost stinks. It's side by side. Stein is out of the race there. Ghost can't get past Peter for the meantime. He's got one last straight of slipstream. No DRS available just yet. And there won't be any more for the rest of the race. Well, in the meantime, we gotta give it to him. A debut race in ITR. You hope they go well. You'd never assume they go this well. It's gonna be Steven, even with the penalty. No one can stop him today. Steven wins the British Grand Prix here at Silverstone. The boss game threw everything at him. Not enough in the end. P2 for him. Dion with penalties takes P3 there. P4 for Peter in the end. P5 is Massimo in the hat. What a debut race that was for him. Did a very, very good job. P6 for Tim. P7 will be Ghost. P8 will be Marco. P9 Thomas. P10 for the final points is Mike. P11 Davies. P12 will be Green Lizard when he gets there. Or will he just throw himself in the wall? Please, like, just don't hold this race up for a lot longer. And he's just doing donuts. Put it in the wall. Please stack it in the wall, for goodness sake. And there we go. The end of the first race of the season. Well, pre-season. That race meant nothing. Massimo there. Shushing the crowd. The podium celebrations commence. Red Bull, Alfa Romeo, and Mercedes is your podium. Stephen Osh, the winner of the first race of the season. The boss game got close at the end with the penalties, just not quite close enough. Dion, P3 for him. I'm sure he'll be happy with that result. Very solid. Proving himself. He isn't done yet, maybe in with a shout next season. But that will be it. We'll see you next time for the first race of the season. Bahrain awaits.